Hello, and welcome to episode number 54 of Wrestlerotica, the podcast that combines wrestling and erotica. This week we have 3 stories to share with you. The first story is entitled, Doing Paige with Flair. In this story, Paige is upset that Becky Lynch is with Charlotte. So she makes a bet with Charlotte that would allow her to spend one night with Becky. However, Paige loses this bet, which allows Charlotte to treat her as she wants for one night. The second story is entitled, Dancing in the Mirror, Singing in the Shower. In this story, Renee Young notices that her boyfriend, Dean Ambrose, comes home upset. She doesn't want to push him though, so she does her best job to comfort him and allow him to open up to her when he is ready to. The third and final story this week is entitled, She's Got 2 Words for Them. In this story, Sunny is once again set to leave the WWF. However, before she does, she spends one last time with the members of D-Generation X, Shawn Michaels, and Triple H. Without further ado, let's get to this week's stories. This story is entitled, Doing Paige with Flair. Woo! And it was written by KMR 2009. Say it! You know you want to! Never! Charlotte Flair was enjoying the sight before her. Here she had her former friend and one of her greatest rivals, the anti-diva, Paige on her hands and knees, getting fucked with a 10-inch strap-on. Charlotte had just made Paige tap out in their title match at Survivor Series. They had had a heated couple of weeks leading up to this match, but the reason for the rivalry was not what was being presented on TV. Charlotte did have something that Paige wanted. It wasn't the title. It was Becky Lynch. Charlotte had made Becky her personal bottom. Becky had years ago been Paige's girl when they were teenagers wrestling with Paige's mom. Paige thought, when Becky was called up, that they would have that relationship again. Paige had been hurt when Becky informed her that she was Charlotte's. So in retaliation, Paige challenged Charlotte to a match for the title, but had requested a special stipulation. Paige won. She would get Becky for a night, and after the night, Becky could decide who she wanted to be with. If Paige lost, Charlotte would get Paige for the night, where Charlotte could do whatever she wanted. With most divas, this meant anal. Holy cow! Paige was not one who liked being in this position. She had made this wager many times, but only losing twice before, to Nikki and AJ Lee. AJ had been the first and the best. In Paige's darkest fantasies, she would find herself begging AJ to take her again. Nikki was more about the victory than AJ. While Nikki enjoyed winning and taunting you, AJ just made you happy to lose and want to continue to lose to her. It seemed Charlotte was more like AJ. She had won the wager, and instead of just claiming her prize, she was wanting Paige to beg Charlotte to take it. Paige promised herself she would never be as weak as she was to AJ again. However, Charlotte was determined to break the anti-diva and make Charlotte beg for her humiliation. Charlotte was moving in and out of Paige's pussy, with slow, steady thrust of the strap-on. The thrusts were deep and hitting at just the right angle. Paige could feel her pussy getting wetter, which made the strap-on easier to adjust to. Paige could feel her arousal being kept at a high, steady level. She was so close that she knew she just needed a little bit more to go over. But Charlotte wasn't giving it to her. Ready to beg? Nah, never! Oh, fuck! Shit! Paige was caught off guard as Charlotte began to play with her clit. Her arousal spiked, and she was right on the edge, but Charlotte refused to let Paige orgasm. The added stimulation on her clit, along with continuing thrust hitting her G-spot over and over again, were driving Paige insane. It was becoming too much for her. It felt like hours had passed by when it was barely a couple of minutes. Charlotte decided to take a gamble and began to slow her thrust even more while slowly removing her hand from Paige's clit. No! Please don't! Don't what? Paige wanted to remain silent, but her desire to come was too great and resolve crumbled. Don't stop! Please! I need to come! Please! Charlotte smiled as she watched the pale Brit begin to lose all her pride. Her thrust continued getting slower. She reached up and grabbed the black and blue hair. She pulled Paige up so that Charlotte could say the next few words into Paige's ear. You know what you have to do. Beg me. Tears were starting to fall as Paige was getting desperate. Charlotte could see Paige close her teary eyes. Please do it, Charlotte! Please! No! You have to say it! Beg for it! There was no hesitation, as Paige was too far gone now. Fuck my arse! Please fuck it! Bugger me hard! Do it! Please do it! Please see! Ruin my arse! I don't care! Just do it, please! Charlotte smiles as she pulls out of Paige's pussy. She pushes Paige down and turns Paige onto her back. Charlotte practically folds Paige in half, with Paige's ass up in the air. Almost on instinct, Paige wraps her arms around the back of her knees. Normally, with my sweet Bex, I would lick her asshole to get it ready, but you don't get that. Instead, Charlotte spits on Paige's asshole. She uses a finger to coat the rim of Paige's back hole. Charlotte teases it for a moment before she pushes the finger into Paige's ass. Oh, fuck! Paige moans as her asshole is stretched by 1, then 2, and finally 3 fingers.
Oh, yeah.
Wow! You are loose back here! I guess the rumors of you being passed from being AJ's anal slut to Nikki's were true. I was going to enjoy breaking you in, but since I can't, I think you need to work for your own orgasm. Charlotte pulls her fingers out of Paige's ass, and then shoves them into Paige's open mouth. Lost in her own lust, Paige wraps her lips around Charlotte's fingers, tasting her own ass. Once Charlotte is satisfied, she pulls her fingers out. Charlotte pulls Paige up before she herself lays on her back. Get up on Old Space Mountain! Paige understands what Charlotte wants as she straddles Charlotte's body. She grips the strap-on before slowly lowering herself onto it. Her asshole stretches until she finally bottoms out while letting out a wail. That's it! Scream for me! Charlotte watched as Paige began to move on the strap-on. She reaches up, begins to squeeze Paige's breast. They fit perfectly in Charlotte's hands. She squeezes them, making sure to hold on as Paige is moving faster. She moves her fingers and begins to twist Paige's pink nipples. Paige tosses her head back as she screams out again. Fuck yes! Make it hurt! Please! I am so close! Keep begging for it! Charlotte is twisting as hard as possible. She is almost afraid she may rip the nipples off Paige's breast. Almost. Charlotte doesn't care about hurting the Brit anymore after everything Paige has said and done. She just wants to humiliate her. Please! Hurt me! Twist my tits! Fuck my arse! Charlotte is having a hard time holding on to Paige's nipple as the pale anti-diva is bouncing erratically as her orgasm is getting closer. You want it? I want you to woo for me! Charlotte gives Paige's nipples an extra loud twist. Woo! Oh, fucking woo! 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 Paige's body goes rigid for a moment as her orgasm finally hits her. Charlotte can feel her stomach being coated in Paige's wetness. She watches as Paige's body is now flowing about as her orgasm racks her body. Finally, Paige collapses on top of Charlotte with a pop as the strap-on exits Paige's ass. Woo! Woo! Fuck! Woo! Charlotte laughs as she pushes the weakened Paige off of her. Paige rolls over on her stomach as she is barely able to look over at Charlotte as the blonde gets out of bed. Well, this was fun, but I am going home to my girl Becky. Now you know why she is mine now, and always, because I am just genetically superior. The end. This story is entitled Dancing in the Mirror, Singing in the Shower, and it was written by fanfiction.net user ExplicitMoxViolence. Renee combed her fingers through her wet hair, closing her eyes as the shampoo suds circled the drain beneath her feet. The warm water felt incredible as it cascaded over her body. A little tingle ran down her spine at the thought that John would be home in less than an hour. Biting her lip against a smile, she set about making sure she looked perfect for him. She hummed along to his song in her head as she rubbed her favorite exfoliator all over her body. She almost shrieked when she felt a pair of hands on her hips, but the familiarity of those calloused palms stopped the sound before she made it. She hadn't heard him come in, but as he stepped into the rainforest-style shower and wrapped his arms around her, she let herself melt into his embrace. Tilting her head to one side, she allowed him access to her neck. I thought you were out, he mumbled against the damp skin. She shook her head at the ridiculous idea. She wouldn't be there to welcome him home, turning her head to press her lips to his. She shook her head. It was an awkward position, but it was breathtaking nonetheless. The feel of his bare chest against her back, his hand sliding over her stomach, catching the little droplets of moisture on their journey up to her breast. She arched her back when he ran his thumbs across her nipples, a wave of arousal rippling through her body, from her head to her toes, when she felt him hard against her tailbone. She turned in his arms, winding her arms around his neck, as his hands came to rest on her ass. I missed you too, gorgeous, she whispered to him. I missed you too, he murmured, those expressive blue eyes so full of love for her. She knew him. She knew his mind, body, and soul. Something was troubling him. She could see it burning behind his eyes, but she also knew what he needed wasn't interrogation. By now, she knew how to soothe him and to draw him out of himself. She brought a hand down to caress his stubbly cheek. I love you. His words tickled the shell of her ear. It still took her breath away whenever he told her that. I love you too, she told him, maneuvering their bodies out of the direct spray of water. Let me take care of you. His gaze followed as she sunk to her knees, running her hands over his body as she went. Her palms skimmed over his pecs, along his ribs, across his taut stomach, down the dents in his hips, until her hands gripped his strong thighs. Looking up at him, she hoped he could see the adoration in her eyes. His erection stood proud, arching up towards his stomach. She let him see how much she enjoyed pleasuring him as she dipped down to taste him. Humming in pleasure. He was quiet, confirmation that there was something on his mind. Even so, he was still attentive, threading his fingers through her hair as his breathing picked up. He was trying to maintain eye contact, but the erotic sight of watching her pleasure him was too much, and he knew it was all going to be over too soon. He let his head drop back against the tiles, and tried to will away the fast-approaching climax. "Fuck! Stop!" he hissed, pulling his hips back. She let him catch his breath, wiping her mouth with the back of her hand. Reaching out to take him in her hand, she stroked him slowly. She brought him right to the edge again before he knew what was happening. "Stop!" He stilled her hand, fighting the urge to go over. "Why, baby?" she asked. "I want to take care of you. You can let go." He shook his head, chest heaving, as he lifted her to her feet. "I need to feel you." He picked her up, pressing her back to the cold tiles. She instinctively wrapped her legs around his waist, admiring the way the water ran in rivulets down his body, catching the little hairs on his chest. She gripped his shoulders as he released one of her thighs to guide his direction to her entrance. She pressed her forehead to his as he slowly pushed into her. He met her gaze, as if checking she was okay. She kissed him hard in answer, gasping into his mouth when he thrust home in one powerful movement. He made her head spin, setting the perfect rhythm as the wet sounds of skin colliding filled the room. She could tell he was worked up, having a hard time holding on. He knew her body better than she did, though, and when he felt her approaching her climax, he picked up the pace and sent her spiraling into an orgasm that had her legs quivering.
"Oh, yeah. Oh.
Just before he lost control. He let his head drop into the crook of her neck as he finally let go, hips stuttering as the explosive pressure released. She felt the warmth flood her and cradled his head, scratching soothingly at his scalp as he came down from the powerful orgasm. He'd been unusually quiet. He was normally vocal, especially when it came to sex. They stayed like that for a while, his face buried in her neck. The water ran cold now, and when he felt her shiver, he carried her to the towel rail and wrapped her up in its warmth. Only then did he pull out, cleaning up the mess before carrying her into their bedroom. She stayed wrapped up in the fluffy towel, curled into him as she waited for him to open up. She knew not to push. He'd share in his own time, on his own terms. Every so often, she felt a little intake of breath, as if he were about to speak, but he didn't. She was drifting off, the sound of his heart beat under her cheek. When she felt a drop of moisture on her forehead. His hair was damp, but somehow she knew it wasn't that. He was tense beneath her. When she lifted her head, her fears were confirmed. Brow creased with the deepest concern for the one she loved, she reached out to caress his cheek. And all the time she knowed him, she'd never seen him cry. He'd been close once, at her grandma's funeral, when she was sobbing all over him, and he'd had to read the second half of her speech for her. Whatever was on his mind, the rarity of seeing him like this just drove home how serious it must be. He sniffed as she caught the next tear before it made it too far, thinking how lucky he was to have someone he could open up to in a way he'd never done with anyone else. She hadn't once asked him to confide in her, but just being with her made him want to spill his deepest secrets. Knowing she wouldn't hold it against him if he didn't want to divulge the reason behind his pain meant the world. She eventually broke the silence, struggling to contain her concern. "It kills me to see you hurting, baby," she whispered. He closed his eyes, his damp lashes resting on his cheeks. When he opened them again, his gaze found hers. "I got some bad news."
"I'm afraid I've got some bad news."
He swallowed down the lump in his throat, voice deceptively steady. Her face creased with concern and hurt for him. "Last night, I got a call." She found his hand and threaded their fingers together. "It's no one you know," he trailed off, She wrapped her arms around him, and he laid his head on her chest. He knew she was trying to tell him that he didn't have to talk about it if he didn't want to. It just knocked me back a bit. He was only 29. I'm sorry, John. I might not know him, but I can see how much he meant to you, she whispered, playing with the short hairs at the nape of his neck. I lived with him for a while. I'm so sorry, baby, she whispered, linking her fingers with his. He squeezed her hand, grateful for her comfort. How did it happen? She asked gently, running her fingers through his messy hair, pushing it back so it wasn't in his eyes. He swallowed hard. Drunk driver. Smashed right into the driver's side. Renee wrapped her arms around him and cradled him to her chest. He hadn't cried much. In fact, he'd only shed a few tears. But that somehow broke her heart more. Reminded me of that night when I couldn't get hold of you. He pulled back to look into her eyes. Harris. She whispered. He nodded. That was the scariest hour of my life. She felt her stomach clench at the memory. She'd cried her eyes out that night. It just makes you think. He pushed his pillows down to lie flat, pulling her with him. You never know when your time is up. Don't say that, she breathed, nuzzling into his neck. I worry enough about you every time you throw yourself off of a ladder or through a table. Don't, he urged, pressing a kiss to the tip of her nose. I need my big strong man around. She let the stubble on his chest tickle her palm. No, you don't. He peppered kisses over her cheek. You think you do, but you'd be just fine without me. That gave him some comfort, knowing she was strong enough to cope should anything ever happen to him. She turned over so he could settle in behind her. She normally liked to sleep draped over his chest, but whenever one of them felt a bit vulnerable, they'd spoon. She felt safe cradled in his arms, and he felt safe with his beautiful lady curled up against him. I love you so much, he mumbled against her neck. I love you too, gorgeous. The end. This story is entitled, She's Got Two Words for Them, and it was written by Christy and Dice. Following the bear bath that ended Raw's 15th anniversary special on December 10th, 2007, D-Generation X members Triple H and Shawn Michaels are hanging out near the catering area. Shawn Michaels, dressed in his wrestling pants, laughs a bit. How pissed do you think Vince is going to be after we dumped beer all over him? Triple H, dressed in jeans and a DX t-shirt, shrugs his shoulders. Oh, somewhere between very and totally pissed. Triple H laughs. Some people just can't stand getting wet with beer, and others can. HBK raises an eyebrow. Really? So that's why you poured beer all over Mickie James? Shawn laughs. Triple H smirks. Hey! Mickie likes getting wet. Triple H says as he looks towards the exit of the catering area, where he sees the legendary Sonny saying goodbye to Mick Foley. Come on! Triple H says to HBK before he starts to walk over to Sonny after Foley leaves her. Where are we going? Shawn Michaels asks as he follows behind Triple H, having not noticed the blonde-haired diva. Over there! Triple H says as he and HBK leave the catering area to approach Sonny. Hey Sonny! What's with you saying goodbye? You finally just got back! Triple H says jokingly. The controversial, energetic, and extremely hot Sonny smiles as she places her hands on the smoothly rounded hips. Oh! It's just goodbye for now! Sonny says with a laugh, tossing her smooth and gorgeous blonde hair back. Because Sonny will be back in the WWE again, baby! Sonny says with a wink as she presses her soft lips together as she looks at Triple H and Shawn Michaels, So, Hunter, Sean, it's good to see you both again, Sunny says as she's dressed in a short black skirt and a tight-fitting red halter top. Of course it's good to see us again, Shawn Michaels says with a cocky smirk on his face. 'Cause if it was bad to see us again then... Triple H looks at his longtime friend. Sean, give it up! Triple H laughs as HBK makes a face. Triple H shakes his head and then looks at Sunny. Anyway, so it's not going to be 10 years till you show up again? Triple H says with a smirk. Sunny raises an eyebrow and smirks. Oh no, not at all, baby. Because Sunny promises many more days of controversy to come. Sunny says in a soft, seductive voice, while looking at Shawn Michaels and Triple H. Shawn Michaels smirks a bit. That's good to know, 'cause I really miss those old Sunny days. Shawn pauses and then adds, and so does a lot of people, but... Triple H cuts him off. Shawn! HBK looks at his longtime friend and shrugs his shoulders. What? Triple H again shakes his head before he looks at Sunny. I think what he's trying to say is that there really needs to be some sunny days around here. Sunny licks her soft, desirable lips. As she locks her lustful eyes on Triple H and Shawn Michaels, the controversially hot diva smirks and shrugs her shoulders lightly. Well, I probably have 2 words for you, then. Shawn Michaels and Triple H exchange looks before they look at Sunny. And what 2 words would those be? HBK asks. Sunny seductively glances down at the crotches of Shawn Michaels and Triple H. Fuck me, Sunny says with a sly and sexy smirk. Shawn Michaels smirks. I don't think Vince can put that on a $20 t-shirt. Triple H laughs and shakes his head, ignoring HBK's comments. Well, if you got those 2 words for us, we more than likely got 2 words for you. Triple H and Shawn Michaels then perform a classic DX crotch chop as Shawn says, Suck it! Sunny licks her lips and she tosses her gorgeous blonde hair back as she steps forward to Shawn Michaels and Triple H before she kneels down in front of the 2 DX teammates. Sure thing, babies, Sunny says as she lifts her skilled hands and smoothly rubs her hands against the crutches of Shawn Michaels and Triple H. Triple H licks his lips. Sunny sure remembers how to play the game, Triple H says as he takes off his DX shirt to show off his very muscular and toned upper body. Shawn licks his teeth slightly. Yup, she sure does, Shawn says as Sunny rubs his crotch through the material of his wrestling pants. The Heartbreak Kid then starts to push down his pants. And once they pace his crotch, Sunny's hand is now pressing right on his hardening 11-inch cock. Sunny presses her lips together and lifts her lustful, desirable eyes with Shawn Michaels as she wraps her left hand around Shawn's hardening cock and starts to stroke his 11-inch shaft. While Sunny moving her left hand against Shawn's cock, she uses her right hand to start unzipping Triple H's jeans. Shawn Michaels licks his lips as Sunny moves her left hand smoothly back and forth on his 11-inch cock. Triple H pushes down his jeans once they are undone, bringing out his 12-inch shaft. So, are you going to be multitasking, Sunny? Triple H says jokingly, as he steps out of his jeans. Absolutely! Sunny says with a laugh as she wraps her right hand around Triple H's thick shaft, as well as she begins to stroke his cock and Shawn's cock at the same time. Sunny tosses her blonde hair back as she gently pulls both cocks closer together in order to lower her head and brushes her wet tongue across the heads of both DX cocks. Damn! Shawn Michaels says as he watches Sunny swirl her tongue around both his and Triple H's cocks. Damn is right! Triple H replies with a grin as he steps a bit closer to Sunny so she has an easier time moving her tongue across and around the heads of his and HBK's dick. Oh, yeah! Sunny seductively moans as she slurps the skilled and controversial tongue against Sean's cock before she slides her tongue across the bottom side of Triple H's thick shaft as both cocks begin to become slightly coated with her saliva. Ugh, shit. Triple H moans as Sunny slides her tongue back and forth against the bottom side of his cock. Shawn Michaels licks his lips as he slides a hand through his long brown hair as he watches Sunny work over his and the game's large, thick cocks. Sunny gently works her soft tongue up Triple H's thick shaft before she opens her sweet mouth and takes Triple H's cock eagerly. Sunny wraps her lips around his shaft and starts to bob her head sucking Triple H. Sunny closes her eyes as her soft lips rub back and forth against his shaft, while she works her left hand against Sean's cock as she continues to stroke his shaft at a smooth and quickened pace. Oh, damn! Triple H moans as Sunny bobs her head on his thick 12-inch cock. The game closes his eyes and puts a hand on the back of Sunny's head as she takes the shaft fairly deep into her mouth. Shawn Michaels lips his lips as he leans down to rub Sunny's tits through the material of her tight-fitting red halter top. Oh! Sunny moans seductively around Triple H's rock-hard cock as her soft lips massage his shaft as she eagerly takes them deeper into her hot and wet mouth. Sunny lifts her seductive eyes and locks them with Triple H as she smoothly moves her blonde-haired head forward. The controversial hot diva lowers her left hand down Sean's shaft before quickly rising her hand on his cock while she tightens her grip on his shaft. Fuck! How about doing those magic 2 words on me, Sunny? Shawn Michaels says as the legendary blonde-haired diva firmly squeezes his cock with her left hand. Hey! Wait your turn! Triple H laughs and moans as Sunny quickly sucks on his rock-hard dick. Sunny's soft lips lustfully graze against Triple H's shaft as she lifts her head off his saliva-covered 12-inch cock. Sunny presses her luscious lips together and seductively looks up at Shawn Michaels. You want me to suck it? Gee, let me think. Shawn Michaels pauses and then smirks. Hell yeah, I do! The Heartbreak Kid says as Sunny holds his 11-inch shaft with her left hand. Triple H smirks as he stops around behind Sunny and starts to lift up her tight-fitting red halter top. Sunny slightly looks up at Shawn Michaels. I'll suck it if Hunter fucks me, Sunny says before she lowers her head and gently circles her tongue around HBK's cock, lightly pressing her tongue against his piss slit as Triple H removes her red halter top to expose her large and juicy tan tits. That can be arranged. Triple H laughs a bit as he kneels down behind Sunny to pull down her short black skirt from her hips, revealing her round, hot, and juicy ass. Triple H puts his hands on Sunny's hips before he pushes his thick, saliva-covered cock into Sunny's warm, waiting, and tight pussy. Yeah! Oh! That cock feels so good! Sunny moans as she slides her tongue around the head of Sean's cock, while Triple H starts to thrust his cock deeply into her warm, tight pussy. Sunny locks her sly and seductive eyes with Shawn Michaels as she opens her mouth and takes his cock, wrapping her lips around his shaft to stop bobbing her head, sucking his cock. Ah! Oh, damn! Shawn Michaels moans as he puts both of his hands on Sunny's blonde-haired head as she bobs her head on his meaty 11-inch shaft. Triple H licks his teeth as he holds onto Sunny's hips as he thrusts his rock-hard cock in and out of Sunny's tight pussy from behind. Ugh! Oh, damn! Triple H moans as he steadily speeds up his thrust. Sunny moans as she eagerly bobs her head at an impressively fast pace on Shawn Michaels' meaty cock. Sunny closes her eyes as she forces his cock deeper into her wet mouth. Sunny rocks back on her knees, firmly pushing her perfectly shaped tanned ass against Triple H's muscular waist to feel his cock deeply slamming into her wet pussy. Oh, fuck. Shit. Triple H grunts as he dives his cock firmly into Sunny's pussy, as she rocks back against him to match his thrust. Shawn Michaels begins to move his hips to move his cock in and out of Sunny's mouth, as she continues to suck his thick cock. Sunny moans as her hot, wet mouth devours Shawn Michaels' 11-inch cock, while her lips grind against his shaft. Sunny twists her blonde-haired head on his meaty shaft, while she continues to rock between him and Triple H, to grind her juicy ass against his waist, to feel his muscular waist smacking against her. Ah! Oh damn! Sunny, you have really been missed around here.
Yes! Yes! Yes!
Shawn Michaels laughs and moans as Sunny lifts her head off his saliva-covered 11-inch cock. Triple H grits his teeth as he keeps pumping his shaft quickly and deeply into Sunny's tight pussy. Oh! It's really great to see you again, Shawn. Sunny moans, pressing her beautiful and luscious lips together, as she quickly rocks back and forth on her hands and knees, while Triple H roughly and quickly rams his cock into her pussy. Oh! Oh, fuck! Sunny moans. Triple H smirks as he keeps fucking Sunny from behind. Shit! You wanna tag in, Shawn? Triple H asks as he slows down his thrust and pulls his cock out of Sunny's tight pussy. Sure! Why not? The Heartbreak Kid says as he bends down to pull Sunny up to her feet. Shawn Michaels then lifts Sunny up and lowers Sunny's warm, tight pussy onto his thick cock. Oh, fuck! Sunny moans and grits her teeth together, wrapping her gorgeous tan legs around Shawn's toned waist, as she eagerly bounces and rocks on his shaft. Fuck! Sunny moans as she rocks forward on his cock. Oh yeah!
Oh yeah!
Shawn Michaels moans as he thrusts his cock deep into Sunny's tight pussy. Triple H smirks a bit as he gets up and stands behind the always controversial diva. Triple H grips his cock and then firmly pushes it into Sunny's tight asshole when she comes down on HBK's shaft. Oh, motherfucker! Sunny moans as she places her hand on Shawn's toned chest and digs her fingernails into his chest as she feels Triple H's cock entering her tight ass. Sunny closes her eyes and tilts her head back as she is tightly pressed between the two DX members. Oh yeah! Shit! Triple H grunts as he puts his hands underneath Sunny's legs, as he thrusts his 12-inch cock in and out of Sunny's light asshole. Shawn Michaels licks his lips as Sunny digs her fingernails into his chest. Hey! Easy! Shawn moans as he speeds up his thrust as he and Triple H sandwich fuck the hot blonde-haired diva. Sunny rocks back against Shawn's cock as Triple H shoves his cock into her ass, thrusting at an impressive speed. Oh shit! It's good to be back! Sunny moans as she swiftly bounces on both hard cocks. Oh, fuck yeah! Shit yeah! Shawn Michaels moans as he drives his cock balls deep into Sunny's warm, wet pussy. Triple H smacks his right hand against Sunny's right thigh as he pounds her tight asshole. Fuck yeah! Triple H groans as he begins to come inside of Sunny's asshole. Oh yeah! Sunny moans as she leans forward and slides her tongue into Shawn Michaels' mouth, lustfully kissing him as she quickly bounces and grinds her body on his shaft. Shawn Michaels moans into Sunny's mouth as he slides his tongue against hers while continuing to fuck her wet cunt. Michaels then slams his shaft deep into Sunny's pussy as he starts to shoot his warm cum inside of her pussy. Sunny taps her soft tongue against Shawn's cock as she lowers her gorgeous tan body down on his throbbing shaft, while his cum sprays into her wet and controversially hot pussy. Sunny moans into his mouth. Triple H pulls his cock out of Sunny's asshole and smacks her juicy ass cheeks. Damn, Sunny! You've still got it. Sunny slyly glances over her shoulder as Shawn Michaels lowers the controversial diva so that she stands. Sunny smirks at Triple H. You really think so? Yeah, you do. Triple H smirks. Shawn Michaels tosses his long brown hair back. Oh, come on! Sunny was always a showstopper, Shawn says. Sunny licks her lips. Maybe next time I come back for a visit, I can suck it. The end. Thank you for listening to episode 54 of Wrestlerotica. We hope that you enjoyed this week's stories. If you enjoyed this week's stories, please be sure to like and review us on iTunes, as this helps the algorithm and lets more people get acquainted with this podcast. Visit us elsewhere online, including Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Tumblr, and as always, our official website, WrestleRoticaPod.com. Thank you and have a good week.